Hi, it's Katrina. From entire cities lost in time to a hidden Aztec temple, here are 10 ancient sites that were recently discovered.
Number 10. A 4,400-year-old tomb.
It's a well-known fact that many of the tombs in ancient Egypt have been looted for their treasures. So when archaeologists were able to uncover tombs that haven't been touched for 4,400 years, they were understandably excited, as we should all be. Found buried on a ridge at the ancient necropolis of Saqqara, the tomb found in December 2018 was untouched and free of looters.
Believed to be the final resting place of a high priest, the inside was decorated with elaborate hieroglyphics. Named Watiye, he served in the 5th dynasty under the reign of King Nefertari-Kare, and the painted reliefs, sculptures, and inscriptions decorating the tomb were all in excellent shape. Scenes inside the tomb include ones of the royal priest alongside his mother, wife, and other family members. Statues and other drawings were also found inside with countless mentions of the priest's mother, showing the high priest was highly devoted to her. Even more remarkable is the fact that the color of these paintings was mostly intact.
The reliefs showed the priest, his wife, and his mother undertaking various everyday activities, including hunting, sailing, and making pottery. It looks like they did everything together.
Inside the tomb, archaeologists also found 5 shafts under a layer of debris that was removed at the end of 2018. Of the shafts, one was unsealed but had nothing inside, while the other 4 still remained sealed. Measuring 33 feet long, 9 feet wide, and just under 10 feet high, the tomb was built not long after the Great Pyramid of Giza was constructed.
As archaeologists continue to share what they uncover inside, there are hopes that they will lead to the coffin or the sarcophagus of the owner of the tomb. For now, it is a wonderful insight into daily life in ancient Egypt.
Number 9. Medieval port city in Oman. Where there was once a thriving city in Oman, now only one single building remains to prove its ancient past. Overlooking the Indian Ocean, the tomb of Bibi Mariam is the last standing evidence of the ancient city of Kalhat. Surrounded by rubble, the roof has collapsed and everything around it is in ruins where the tomb remains. It is thought to have been built either by Baha al-Din Ayaz, the 13th century king of Hormuz, in memory of his wife Mariam, or by Mariam herself. The ruins overlook what was once a major part of the Hormuz Empire, which ruled between the 11th and 15th centuries.
Even though you may not have heard of this ancient city, Italian merchant and explorer Marco Polo visited the area on his return to Venice from Kublai Khan's court in Mongolia. Described by Polo as a strong, fortified port city, the area was a hub for merchant ships that imported spices and rice from India and exported Arabian horses. Fancy.
Located on a hilltop amongst piles of stones, collapsed walls, and rubble, there are no obvious fences, gates, pathways, or roads around the tomb. The site withstood an earthquake at the end of the 14th century, as well as an attack by Portuguese forces in 1508. The decorative wall patterns and other architectural motifs have survived. Last July, UNESCO put Kalhat on its list of World Heritage Sites, along with 4 other sites located in Oman. As archaeologists continue to dig in the stark landscape around the tomb, they have found beads, bracelets, and rings from India, porcelain from China, Vietnam, Thailand, and Myanmar. They also discovered the outlines of 2,800 houses, streets, marketplaces, and a mosque.
While at first sight the remarkably empty landscape may not seem to be much, archaeologists continue to prove that treasures can still be found if you search hard enough. And now for number 8, but first a big thank you to Victor Graysoak II. I'm so happy that you enjoy our videos and learn something new. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell to join the Origins Explained family.
Number 8. The Dead Cities.
This might sound super ominous, but the Dead Cities are actually more than 700 settlements that date back to before the 5th century AD. Located between the cities of Aleppo and Idlib in Syria, these ghostly ancient cities are home to a very large concentration of archaeological sites.
Abandoned between the 8th and 10th centuries as settlers left to prosper elsewhere, houses, churches, pagan temples, and other buildings were left behind. One of the largest and most impressive of the dead cities is Al-Bara. Originally unaffected by the Muslim conquest in the 7th century, it later fell to Crusaders who held the town until an earthquake left it uninhabitable in 1157. Some of the ruins of Al-Bara include 2 large pyramid-roofed churches, a monastery, and a fort. Other structures found in the city scattered throughout the region include Roman baths, as well as churches and evidence of the transition from the ancient pagan world of the Roman Empire to Byzantine Christianity. Once considered a major producer of wheat, olives, olive oil, grapes, and wine, the climate changed in the area, bringing drought and increased temperatures. If the weather wasn't enough to stifle the growth of the area, conquest by the Arabs changed trade routes, resulting in a loss of business to the villages.
Eventually, villagers left and settlers headed for other cities, leaving behind a large swath of architecture that now sits as abandoned ancient villages that whisper of a once prosperous past. Shh, can you hear it?
Number 7. Ancient temple in Turkey.
You guys remember Göbekli Tepe? Well, in any case, an archaeologist working in eastern Turkey has reportedly found an ancient temple estimated to be over 11,000 years old. Dating back to the Neolithic period, the temple was built with small stones and hardened clay floors. It is said to have been built during the same time period as Göbekli Tepe, which is known as the oldest temple in the world, which you know because you've seen my videos.
Throughout history, people of Sumerian, Babylonian, Hittite, Roman, and even Ottoman origins were said to have lived in the area. It was popular. After conducting excavations, 4 steels or stone pillars with inscriptions that served as monuments were uncovered. Steels are often found in Maya territory and ancient Egypt. Although they are usually used to mark an important event or site with letters and pictures, the steels found here were unbroken but without any ornamentation on them. Characteristics similar to the temple at Göbekli Tepe, which was declared an official UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2018, we can only guess at what other mysteries will be uncovered and what other fascinating historical details will be unearthed as archaeologists continue to explore this area in Turkey. Number 6. Ancient carvings in river. The Shamala River in Karnataka, India has revealed an ancient surprise. For the first time in a long time, reportedly, the water level dropped and revealed thousands of mysterious rocks covered with ornate carvings. Known as Shiva lingas, they are religious symbols made in honor of the god Shiva. The place is referred to as Sahasralinga, 1,000 Shiva lingas in Sanskrit. It has become an extremely important pilgrimage site, and thousands of people visit Sahasralinga offering their prayers to Lord Shiva during the Hindu festival of Shivratri. Shiva lingas, or the linga, is a representation of the Hindu deity Shiva.
Located in a forest, the place represents divine power and positive energy and is said to hold the secrets of ancestors. The symbols or carvings were said to be commissioned by the king of Syria between 1678 and 1718. Local legend says the Sahasralingas were ordered to be created by the king in hopes of having an heir.
Interestingly enough, many Shiva lingas of unknown origin can be found in Cambodia. They are also in the middle of a river protected by the jungle, but their significance has been lost over time, especially after the 20-year civil war. No one remembers who carved them or why. Number 5. Ancient ruins in Australian desert.
When Australian archaeologists set out to excavate near the sandstone rock formation of Uluru, they unearthed the ruins of a city dating back more than 1,500 years. Tombs and artifacts discovered at the site lead investigators to believe it was the capital of an ancient empire that was unknown to historians until now.
First noted on satellite pictures in October of 2013, newly developed ground-penetrating radar revealed an area that spans over 16 square kilometers. After months of excavations, a number of structures were unearthed, including a royal palace, temples, water reservoirs, and houses. Almost 300 tombs were also discovered in an necropolis outside the ancient city. Most of the bodies seem to be of Proto-Aboriginal origins, but a few also include those with Polynesian and Asian ancestry.
The professor in charge of the site believes that there were once anywhere from 20,000 to 30,000 inhabitants in the city, and it was probably occupied for 400 to 500 years. Not too bad. With the number of artifacts gathered at the site, the remains from other parts of the world, and the many imported objects led researchers to believe that this place was a major trade route. So, why was it abandoned then? Most likely drought and conflict.
Number 4. Ancient Amazonian tribe. Sometimes modern technology is exactly what archaeologists need to uncover hidden civilizations. This was the case when researchers utilized Google Earth to detect 210 geoglyphs in 200 different sites in the Amazon. Similar to the Nazca lines found in Peru, this series of geometric, zoomorphic, and anthropomorphic designs are really amazing. After poring over aerial and satellite images, researchers uncovered a complex network of towns, cities, roads, and structures. They believe an advanced civilization inhabited the area in the distant past and created these images. Among the finds were 260 huge avenues and long irrigation canals and fences for livestock. Discovered near the border between Bolivia and Brazil, many of the structures found are either square or rectangular in shape. Others also form concentric circles or complex geometric figures like hexagons and octagons, all of them connected by a network of wide avenues. Researchers continue to excavate in the area and have found pottery, carved stone, and other elements that point towards signs of human habitation. Although some of the sites did not have artifacts, they may have been used for ceremonial functions or for defensive purposes. Although researchers originally believed the ancient people in the area were nomads and hunters, the number of structures and their size now leads archaeologists to believe it was a more complex society, estimated at around 70,000 inhabitants. Carbon dating on the objects indicates they were built from 1,000 to 2,000 years ago, giving us insight into pre-Columbian Amazonia and the people who lived there. Number 3. Ancient life in India. A research team led by Oxford University recently discovered new archaeological sites in southern and northern India that revealed ancient life.
By examining the environment the humans lived in and the tools they used, the international team found human populations were present in India about 15,000 years earlier than expected. Why is this find so fascinating? The volcanic eruption of Mount Toba, an ancient volcano in north-central Sumatra, occurred 74,000 years ago, with many life forms somehow surviving the super eruption.
By analyzing stone tools found at the site, the team confirmed they were made by Homo sapiens.
The fact that these tools from the Middle Paleolithic era were found right before and after the super eruption occurred suggests that those who survived the eruption were the same population that made and used the same tools.
Other evidence of Neanderthals in Europe and so-called hobbits in southern and eastern Asia also continue to survive well after Toba's eruption.
Up until now, scholars speculated the Toba volcano caused serious environmental destruction and nearly drove humanity to extinction. But the discovery of plant materials, animal bones, and stone tools in southern and northern India now demonstrate that these people were tough as nails.
Number 2. Ancient items in Florida sinkhole. You don't necessarily have to travel halfway across the world to find something prehistoric. Just ask scientists who uncovered items in a Florida sinkhole that they believe belonged to people who lived in the area 14,500 years ago. Located 30 miles southeast of Tallahassee, the sinkhole was first discovered about a decade ago. But when a team of scientists believed the sinkhole might hold historical secrets, their persistence paid off. Between 2012 and 2014, scientists excavated and found a knife and stone flakes that provided evidence for early humans earlier than previously thought. Measuring nearly 200 feet wide, the sinkhole had a shallow pond at the bottom in ancient times that offered fresh water and a gathering point for animals. Using mastodon dung that researchers found nearby, analysis of twigs in the dung dated to around 14,550 years old. Researchers at the Smithsonian Institute have dubbed the sinkhole one of the earliest well-documented sites for human presence in the southeastern United States. This is an important piece of the puzzle that puts people in the area 1,500 years earlier than previously thought. Number 1. Hidden Aztec Temple.
Leave it to Mother Nature to reveal an ancient temple hidden inside an Aztec pyramid. Archaeologists were working on the remains of the Great Pyramid of Teopanzolco in southern Mexico, when in 2018 it revealed its secret.
Excavation has been going on at the site since 1921, but it took a 7.1 magnitude earthquake to unveil an ancient shrine buried 6.5 feet below the main temple. Scientists from Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History were scanning the pyramid for structural issues after the earthquake, which struck in September 2017. Turns out that there were twin temples where the most serious damage occurred. Unfortunately, the force of the damage caused the structures to bend in the middle and left them dangerously destabilized. In an effort to save the historic pyramid, archaeologists created walls and a corridor, but in doing so, they unearthed a previously unknown structure that was strikingly similar to the original temple, which was raised in dedication to the Aztec rain god Tlaloc. The new structure is in a similar style to the original temple, with double facade walls covered in elongated stones, and could possibly be an earlier temple dedicated to the god. Unfortunately, the humidity in the region damaged the temple's stucco walls, but archaeologists were able to save some of the remaining fragments.
So, while the forces of nature and the damage caused by the earthquake are some cause for concern, the occurrence of the natural phenomenon is also a key component in the discovery of this archaeological site hidden inside one of Mexico's most well-known pyramids. Thanks for watching! Which of these sites do you wish you could visit? Let me know in the comments below. And remember to subscribe if you are new here. See you later, alligator! Bye!